Well, welcome to my Harlow My Life, and it gives me an absolute pleasure to say that our first guest on the show is, of course, the absolute living legend, Mr. Ray Dyer. So, welcome, Ray.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, Dave. Good to be here.
So, I suppose we can only start it in one place, the chat tonight, and that is, of course, the news that broke sort of late last night. I must admit, I missed it last night because I was sound asleep on the sofa. But last night I got to see it this morning and was in absolute shock. I mean, had it been in the pipeline for some time, Ray?
It has. It's been in the pipeline probably, I'd say, for the last 12 to 18 months, to be honest. It's just one of them things. It's sort of since I've moved up here, and it's been fine. It's worked really well all the way along, with emails, and Donna doing a fantastic job with what she was doing down there, and it's worked really well. And right up to present day, it's worked really well. But it's just, I think with the amount that Donna does now down there, she does. I mean, yeah, I'm secretary, or was secretary, but she was doing it all. She's signing on players. She's doing all the forms. She's loans come in. She's filling out all the loan stuff and that. I'm not doing any of that. All I'm doing, I'm basically like answering an email and sending on stuff to Donna. and I had a chat with Donna, and I said to her, I said, look, I'm thinking about doing. I was thinking about doing it last year, as I say, but both Donna, Tom, Chapo all talked me out of it. And I said, right, we'll go again, and that was it. And I stayed there and done it this year, but it come to a point this season, then all this coronavirus kicked in and all that, and I thought, you know what, this is probably a perfect opportunity. Donna's brilliant at what she does. She can do everything. I said to her, I'm here at the end of the phone if she needs to ring, give us a call. I haven't got a problem with that at all. And if she does, I'll help her out. You know, I don't think she'll need to be honest, because she knows everything. So, but yeah, it was a tough decision, but I think it's best for me and for the club going forward. Obviously, with what happened with Chapo and that at the end of last season, during this season, and the new manager coming in and everything, and Donna talks to him all the time and that, and I never managed to. Probably my fault as much as anyone else's. I never actually spoke to him, never rung him, or never spoke to him or anything like that. So it's probably my fault, really, that I didn't get in touch with him. But I felt Donna's got that relationship with him, so you know, let's do it now. Let's cut the ties. Let's say my 10 years is up, and yeah, so it's a shame. I'm emotional about it. It was a tough decision, but an easy one at the same time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And what was the reaction of the boss when you spoke to Tom?
Well, Tom's, you may or may not know, he's with this coronavirus. He's stuck in Spain.
He is, yeah.
So I sent Tom an email saying about it, and it was fine, absolutely fine. And I got when I let the league know, because I let Tom and Donna know. Oh, must be about 4 or 5 weeks ago, something like that. And then it's taken me that long to let the league know, because you know it's like, do I really want to do it? And like that. Donna said to me, she said, I thought you'd chickened out. She said, I didn't think he was going to do it. And it took that long to do the email, but I sat down one day on one of my days off, and I thought, right, I'll do it. And I've got a really, well, because I copied Tom in and everyone in it, and I've got a lovely email from Tom thanking for the service and that. And it was nice. It's been been a journey.
Did you get anything back from
Yeah,
from the league itself? Did you get a reply from Kelly or from?
Yeah, Kelly said thanks for all I've done. Yeah, Kelly was brilliant. Said, thank you from her and the board. I thank the board as well for all what they've done. Again, I've got a nice email from the Essex FA as well. So it's it's all nice, all ended nice, all with nice emails and that. It's been good.
So go right back to the beginning then, Ray. I mean, how did you first sort of get involved at Harlow? When did you first start going over there? That's the first thing as a supporter.
I can't remember that long ago. As far as a supporter, well, I'm going to say I must have been about 11, 12. So what year is that?
1920 what?
Careful. No, it must have been about 76, 77, just before our cup run, really. It's probably about the season and a bit before then, because I lived there with me in Rivermill with my mum and dad. So we was literally a stone's throw away from the ground. And I think one day I thought, you know what, I'm going to go over there and give it a go. And the rest is history, as they say. Went over there and never looked back. Started going home games. Then didn't really do many away games in them days because of basically my age. Didn't know too many people over there. I was lucky with the cup run, and my brother-in-law took me to the cup run games when I was there, and and then started to meet up with different people, and and that's how it all started, really.
So what was your first game? Can you remember the first game?
No. I'll be totally honest with you, I can't.
See, I could always remember mine because it was one of those things where something happened in the game that sort of sticks in my mind even to this day. And it was Enfield Town when Enfield Town got promoted, and I think Bert was in goal, and the header came in from really close range, and he was going one way and flipped and went the other way and put it round the post. So I can always remember it as being like the first game being Enfield Town, but because that big sort of there.
But the difference being was, how old was you at your first game?
Yeah, well, there you go, yeah.
My memory don't go back that far.
So, I mean, what is the first, games wise? I mean, the cup run. I mean, talk us through, being a youngster going into that and going into an FA Cup and seeing those type of matches. I mean, what was that like?
Oh, mind blowing, mate. It really was. We had. Where did we go? Leytonstone and Ilford, and it was that remember, but turning them over 2-1, I think it was. I remember. I'm sure Phil Towson had caned me because I can't remember the score now, but that was always good. And getting through and you get Southend in the draw, and you're thinking, wow, trip to Roots All, that'd be brilliant. That'd be a great day out. And it was a fantastic day out, and get a draw there and bring them back home, and the place was absolutely buzzing. And you think, if only we can get a result against them, at home, and being on the old mud bank. I was over there, and because me dad was always took an interest in Harlow, but he never. He'd always say, "I will get over there one day," but he never did. Bless him. So I used to go over on my own, and that was a night that I will remember, and sort of I think I ran all the way home. I was that excited, and sort of got in and saw like BBC News, and the news come up. They were shocking the FA Cup. Harlow beat Southend, and then you're sitting there waiting for the draw on Monday on the radio, and Leicester City come out, and you're thinking, wow, Filbert Street, unbelievable. Unfortunately, that is one place that I never got to because I'd love to have gone, but again, I had no one to go with at that particular time, so I didn't really know anyone. My brother-in-law thought about it. It's a bit too far to go, so and probably get beat. Yeah, you're probably right. And sort of it was on them days. Obviously, you're looking at the teleprinter and Football Focus and Grandstand and all that, and all of a sudden you see it goes 1-1, Neil Prosser in the 90th minute. Wow, we get a replay out of this. That's brilliant. Tuesday night over there, full house, loads of Leicester City fans there, and again, another dream come true. Amazing night, loads of atmosphere. Again on the mud bank, going absolutely crazy when we scored. And again, run all the way home, got in, and mum and dad were there, and like they were sort of smiling. They knew the score. I got in. 9 o'clock news was on, and they had like pictures and of Harlow scoring the goal and saying how dramatic it was and all that. And of course, then you had all the build up to the Watford game after that.
Did Lineker play in both legs, or did he, both games, the original tie and the replay?
No, he only played in the replay.
Right.
Yeah, I think. I don't even think he was on the bench because in them days you only had one substitution, so I don't even think he was on the bench for the home game. But they put him up front because he was only a youngster in them days. So they put him up front, and who's Gary Lineker in them days? That's he was up front. It's not a name that now you remember it. Man.
Yeah.
But back then, you used to look at that and think Mark Wallington in goal, Dennis Rofe, the right back.
Was Smith?
Who else was there?
Alan Smith playing?
Alan Smith, yeah, but again, he was relatively unknown as well. So his name, it was the players like Mark Wallington in goal. He was the one that always sticks in my mind because I always remember Mark Wallington. It's and Dennis Rofe of that, but yeah, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. It was great, and like I say, and then it went on to Watford, and again, loads of coaches going. My brother-in-law, because it's down the road, my brother-in-law said, "Yeah, we'll go if you." Yeah, I'll come with you. Yeah, definitely. So it was Harlow scarf and that, and off to Watford. Well, we all know the story. That one at half time, you're 4-1 down, and you're thinking, you're 1-0 up at half time, and it's brilliant, absolutely amazing, And then they come out second half and they go 4-1 up, and you're thinking, really? We're going to get hammered here, even because the famous thing is about the scorer. The scoreboard. He said this scoreboard only goes up to 9 when the fourth one went in, and I believe that we got a letter of apology for that, if I remember rightly, at Harlow from Watford saying it wasn't right, and we apologised for it. But of course, we got back into it and got back to 4-3, and we hit the post as well near the end. John McKenzie, I think, hit the post or the bar, which could have made it 4-4. And of course, it was on Match of the Day and everything. John McKenzie was in goal of the month as well. So it was, days to remember.
So from there, one of the things I didn't know until Phil was posting sort of bits and bobs on the forum and stuff of late is that what's your memories about the possible move that failed? From the sports centre, was it to Royston or somewhere, or Roydon? Was it that the club was going to move to?
Yeah, it was going to be where the Greyhound Stadium is.
Right.
I don't know. Obviously, I haven't been down there. I don't know if the Greyhound Stadium's still there or not. I would imagine it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where it was going to be, and it was all looking good because they'd put the pitch in, they'd built everything for it, and it was quite exciting. The only downside again was where it was going to be. Sort of, no chimney pots around it and things like that. But no, exciting times. Yeah, gonna have a new ground and all that, and then it all fell away. Unfortunately, that part. But you say unfortunately to look what we've got now. It was. I think you've still been a long way away from the ground in that other one where the dog track is. We wouldn't have had a running track around it, but I don't know. I think what we got now is a lot better than what we would have had. My personal view.
So, because there was if I remember rightly, there was a very famous song. Do you want to sing it for us about you?
I don't know the words to that
one. But I mean, in all fairness, I mean, when did it start from yourself? Being a fan, and then all of a sudden, then I think when John left, and I mean, how did that sort of come to a part that you then took over the secretary's job? What year was that?
Well, when that must have been 2010. That was when Macca got involved. John Mackenzie, or Macca as everyone knows him. He got involved and he was secretary, and then he left. We were not going into all that, but he left. And Tom approached me and said, "Would you like to take over and become secretary?" And I was like, "Wow, really?" It was a dream come true with Macca giving me the chance to be match secretary, which I thoroughly enjoyed and loved it. But the thought of being secretary, I was thinking all that extra work and whatever. And but Macca was a great teacher, really, on that. He taught me a lot. That I know, and so I got a lot to thank him for. But obviously a lot to thank Tom for giving me the opportunity to do the job, and never looked back, really. It's been an honour and a privilege to be the secretary. It really has, and it was, as I said, hard to give it up, but it's where I am now, up in the Lake District. It does make it a bit more difficult with my job as well. It makes me more difficult to answer emails. That was another thing. What was it? I was getting emails through, and it could take me 24 hours to answer them, whereas Donna can answer them just like that, like I used to when I was down south. So that was another reason for me as well, because I thought it's not fair on keeping people hanging on questions and what have you, and that needed replies there and then. So
I mean, that there. I mean, can you remember what when you first heard that the club was going to move from the sports centre and go into Barrows Farm where it is now? I mean, what was the feelings then?
Yeah, excitement. Jeff Bothwell, the owner, then had all the plans drawn up and everything to go up there and take the club up there, and the plans looked good, and it was that was exciting times, because we had a good team then, and we was going places then as well, and sorry, I don't know what's happened here.
That's right, you're still there. I can see you.
Oh, that's all right. I can't see you, so maybe it's a blessing in disguise. But did I say that? Did I say that out loud? No. It was. It was a big move, and it was very exciting, because it was getting away from the running track, having a brand new ground. Exciting times. It was exciting times, and it turned out to be a very good move for us in one way with the team and everything. But I don't know. It's just the chimney pots. It's just getting people there. That was the big problem. You know that for yourself.
Yeah.
It's always been a problem, and I think it always will be a problem, to be honest.
So I mean, with that, I mean, when it all sort of started to, I think was it shortly after that we moved into Barrows Farm, that the owner then, and what happened after that. I mean, what was the feelings from you and fans alike at the time when you didn't know what was going to be happening?
Well, sorry, I lost you there a bit.
So basically, when the previous chairman, I think if I'm right in saying he got divorced from his wife, and then all of a sudden the club started to go, should we say, Pete Tong, and it was close to folding. I mean, what was the feelings then between you and the fans? And
no, that was worrying times. Yeah, that was worrying times. No one knew where we was going to be, whether we was going to have a club again. Well, we went through that once before at the old sports centre, when we lost the season, due to an owner going and the club disappearing and then being reborn again. We didn't want that, obviously, and luckily it didn't happen. Carol in the end took it over. It difficult for her, difficult for the team, because we had no money, and it was just a battle for survival, really.
What year was that, Rob?
But the support.
What year was that?
Oh, don't ask me questions like that.
Was it in the 2000s?
Yeah, it was. I'm rubbish when it comes to knowledge. Just don't ask me what years or anything. One year blends into another now, mate.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, that was hard that season. That was very hard, but we got through it. We finished bottom, but we survived getting relegated, all by a default, really, of another team not being able to come up, and it saved us, really. And then, Tom come in and bought the club.
And when was the first time, when Tom came in? He was there for a few years, and then all of a sudden, then I remember, I think it was I think it was the first full season I was there, and we were really struggling really badly. And I remember, and I don't know if you remember this, going to where the pitch was absolutely rotten. I think it was either Boxing Day or New Year's Day, something around that sort of area. And I think it was later than that. I think it might have even been around Easter time when we played them. And I can remember it was us two fighting for relegation almost at the bottom of the table. And I don't know if you remember this, but we went there and the pitch was, the usual sort of wear pitch. And we went there and we were getting beat. And I remember the referee turning around, and I was sitting next to my father-in-law, and the referee turned around to one of the captains and said, "Look, no slide tackles, any more of this sort of stuff, and we're going to call the game off." And then, if I remember rightly, a certain, probably one of my favourite players of all time, Harlow, Danny Brown, goes in with the most outrageous slide tackle you've ever seen in life. The game gets called off. We go and then we go and win the replayed game and stay up. But it was, I mean, do you get games? I mean, do you remember that game?
There you say it. Yeah, I do. I do remember that getting called off. Yeah, I remember the referee saying that about them slide tackles, and like you say, Brownie come in and done that, and that was it, game over. So I do remember that, and that was a relief.
Well, I mean, have you got a favourite game, Ray? At the new stadium, or favourite game and a favourite season.
Favourite games? I've got quite a few favourite games, to be honest with you, Dave. I've got to say, probably getting promoted with Sudbury and winning on penalties. That was a fantastic night, or fantastic afternoon, I should say. That was brilliant. I did feel sorry for Sudbury, don't get me wrong, I did. And I always remember running onto the pitch after winning and going over and shaking the Sudbury supporters' hands before going over and celebrating, because I did generally feel sorry for them, because they played so well, and to lose on penalties, no one wants to lose on penalties. But no, that was a cracking day. Of course, the win against Hornchurch, that was that was a fabulous. That's probably the highlight because I was secretary at the time, so that's probably the highlight. But then going back again over the years, obviously you got to put Leicester at home in there, Southend at home in there. And probably one that I do remember is the FA Trophy game when we went to
Bath.
Haybridge Swifts.
Oh, okay.
A long time ago, years ago, and we was 3-0 down at half time, and one of the supporters, Bernie, we was playing that rubbish. He picked a dustbin up. So you might have heard the story. He picked a dustbin up, took it into the centre circle, and just put it on the centre circle. Because we was absolutely abysmal. Yeah. And we come out second half, totally different side. And I think it was Dennis Green, I think, got a hat-trick that day, and we ended up winning 4-3. And it was that absolute. That was a fantastic day. That was a fantastic day. And of course the playoff semi-final at Haybridge as well.
Oh, what a night that was! Yeah, me and you were together that night. It was a fantastic night, I must admit. And
that was.
I think that game though, Ray, was won before you even kicked off. I think it was a case of the minute Jody decided to take the manager of the month award before the semi-final. In the middle of the pitch.
You saying that. Yeah,
that put the mockers on it, and then the likes of Ray and Paul and all the rest of the fans getting round the tunnel and making a right old racket. And I remember interviewing Jody a couple of months later for the show, and he turned around and said, "We lost the game the minute we came out the tunnel." He said, "My players just bottled it the minute they walked through the tunnel." He said, literally, he said, "You can tell that the noise was just unreal." But do you know what significance the following game had for Harlow Town when we went to Whittam and lost the final? There's something happened at that game, and basically, if it hadn't happened, we might not have a certain person who we've got at the moment. It was it was the first game that Tim went to. It was the first game. I took Tim along to that game. And I remember it because it was the game when one of the supporters threw a Coke can over the top and it hit my daughter in the head with a Coke can, and it got stopped by his camera on that day. Yeah, that was his first ever game that he ever went to. But you were talking about games that you remember that you loved. I think the one for me was the Bath City game at Bath, because on that occasion, I was your match day secretary at that time, and you couldn't get there, and I was at that game. I think you came along a bit later on to the game. And that one was always the one that reminds me. Is the Bath City game, because in the first game, Sonko got injured quite badly with a slice on his head at home, and when Danny done the team sheet, Danny actually gave me the team sheet, and I had to go back to him, and I can't remember who the player was, but I said to him, "You do realise you're missing him off the team sheet? Is that right?" He went, "Oh, blimey, I ain't done that." And went back and put the player on the team sheet, and that was the player that actually ended up coming on. The only defender we had, I think, on the bench that came on for Sonko in that game. So I always remember that game. Yeah. But season-wise, would you say the 100-point season was the most memorable one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was a fantastic achievement. That was certainly the best season that I've ever seen down there, without a doubt. It's fantastic achievement, and played some really good football, and it was really breaking all the records, and amazing. It was a fantastic season, and with, I think Danny, a lot of people criticised Danny at the club and that, but he took that club forward big time. He really did, and I've got a lot of respect for Danny. I still said that we'll keep in touch with each other. So, but he done well for that team, and it was that without a doubt the best season we had down there.
Memorable moments from that season. Is there a moment that sticks out in your mind? I've got two from that season, but I'm interested to see what yours are.
I'm going to say it was just a fantastic season. I don't think there's anything that can stick in my mind. Like you putting me on the spot like you do. I knew I should have done my research, but there's no. I'm not going to say there's nothing. It was just a fantastic season. It was just Reedy with all them goals, smashing the record. I don't think there's one game that really stands out.
Well, I've got two, Ray, and it's against exactly the same team. And it's against Needham Market, the two games against Needham Market. The first one, the home game, was down to the fact that Sam Newson at the time was smashing in, a bit like Reedy, smashing in goals all over the place. And we brought in a scholar, I think if I'm right from Southend, called Daniel Matsuka.
Yes.
Daniel Matsuka made a slip in the first couple of minutes and he looked like Sam was going to get away. And then from the rest of the game, I think Daniel Matsuka had him in his pocket and he's probably still got Sam Newson in his pocket to this day. But the second one was the away game. It was after it had all been done and dusted and Craig Pope had missed the sitter at the end to win the game. It was the first time ever and probably the only time ever I've seen you lose your rag. When you went into the ballroom at the end of the game. And it was just incredible. I've never seen you lose your rag before, but that was quite a moment in time seeing that.
Yeah, I weren't happy. Yeah.
Do you want to tell the story?
No.
But
no, I'm not going to.
But I mean, in all fairness, we went on the following week game, and of course at one point I think after about 10 minutes we were being promoted until it all went a bit peaked on. But I think we've gone from that biggest high to probably the worst feeling I think I've ever had as a Harlow fan was the semi-final against Thurrock. Especially with what it meant with 100 points, 100 goals, and then you go into a semi-final when realistically you would expect it to get promoted as such, and you go there and get turned over at home by probably at that stage because of what had physically happened previously. Probably, the worst enemy that you could come up against at the time. It was more than a derby, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? After everything that had gone on, in a couple of seasons beforehand.
Yeah. No, it was. I was gutted that day. I think that day, but I think Whittam hurt me more.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Was that because would you say that's because we beat them twice in that season? Would that be one? Yeah.
Yeah, and the way we just didn't turn up, and I think everyone after the Haybridge game, which obviously was our cup final, and everyone had us down to lose that anyway, and winning that, and I think we had it won. In everyone's mind, we had it won, and it didn't happen. And that was probably my lowest point, I think.
And they also nicked our penguin.
Nicked our penguin.
Yeah.
Oh yes, behind the goal. Yeah.
My daughter always goes on about that all the time.
Really? Yeah.
Every time I tell them I got Whittam on the show, she turns and says, "Ask them for the penguin back."
Yeah.
I've had something sent in to me by somebody who, of course, you know extremely well, by Mr. Ian Barnum. He was trying to put something together for me tonight, but he was very, very busy with his work. But he's put on there. When I asked him a memory of himself, he's put also one of my favourite football-related stories about Ray is when we went away on Buddha's stag do. Before we left, we all had a kickabout at the club, and he was in goal. He came for a cross, and I think it was Dan Start that went for the ball and ended up kicking his hand. We travelled down to Mickey Long's pub in Dorset and settled in and started having a few beers. After a few hours, his fingers had swollen up the size of sausages, and he had to go to a local A&E to get the wedding ring cut off. Needless to say, he didn't play in goal for the rest of the weekend. Do you remember that?
No, that's for sure. Yeah. I'll never forget that. Especially having to tell the wife that the wedding ring has to come off. Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was going to be a lot worse than what it turned out to be. But yeah, no, that was painful. That was painful, and having that cut off as well. I was gutted about having it cut off, but it had to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was it was Dan's start. Just kicked me in the hand, and that was it. And we just went down there and out on the minibus and didn't think nothing of it. It was hurting, but that, and then so we got down there and it did swell up, really did, and had to have it cut off. But
and of course, Michael, he's probably one of your best mates.
Longy,
and I suppose he had that devastation with his pub, and thankfully it's all back and running. But can you remember where you were when that happened, and your reaction that day?
Trying to think, how was it? Football?
Was it at Ware? I think
Where
was it at Ware?
Away at Ware. Yeah. Couldn't believe it. Absolutely couldn't believe it. I was, absolutely devastated for him. And I remember ringing him up and having a chat, and I remember seeing it all on the news. Obviously with Sky you get all the local news and that, so I used to go onto the South News and you see it all, and it's like, wow, really? Absolutely devastating for them. Really was. They lost everything, and heart went out to him and Helen and the girls, not something I wish on anybody, that's for sure. Not something like that. And I didn't expect. I mean, I've been down there a few times beforehand, and I don't know. You don't expect that to happen.
Yeah.
Not to someone you know. But at the end of the day, they all got out. They're all lived to tell the tale, which at the end of the day is the main thing. I know you can't replace possessions, but life's more important than possessions at the end of it. I was just glad that they all got out and they're all fit and healthy and rebuilt the pub and back in business again. So
I suppose one of the funniest days for me we've ever had together, I think, was a certain trip that me, you, and I can't think who the other person was in the car at the time. It might have even been Ian Barnum in the car, and Tim. And we went on a little trip. And I don't know if you remember this little trip that we went to. We went on a little trip down to Maidstone.
Yeah.
We went on a nice little trip down to Maidstone, the four of us, with a few other fans, shall we say, of the club. And you'd organised us to go to a nice little vets tournament down at Maidstone. And of course, we're all travelling down in the car. And you had a little secret, didn't you? That you didn't let us know until we got to the car park. That people like F and a Cuckoo were going to be playing for Maidstone. And all the rest of it. I mean, would you? I mean, that day was just absolutely unbelievable, wasn't it? I mean,
it was
incredible. It was like the All Stars against Harlow Town.
Yeah, and on the way down, I said, I turned around and said, I'm only going to play a small part. I said I might come on for 5 minutes. Who got injured?
I think everyone injured, didn't they? I mean,
a lot of everyone did get injured.
I can't remember. Was it Paul or somebody that got to F and a Cuckoo fall on his knee, didn't he, in one of the games, and his knee blew up?
No, one of our guys.
Yeah, F and a Cuckoo fell on his knee, didn't it? And his knee all blew up.
Legs his mate.
Yeah, so he was up. I think I ended up with sciatica, couldn't play the last game. I think Tim had problems as well. Tim had problems. I think in the end, we were down to about 10 players by the time we got to the last game.
Yeah, I had to play every game. Yeah. I weren't happy. There was no way I was going to play every game. I was going to play about 10 minutes and that'd be about it. That was enough. I ended up playing everything. Yeah, it was a good day though.
It was a good
day.
It was a good day.
Unfortunately, it's never been repeated. But it's. I thought it was going to be an ongoing thing, the 3G Cup and that, but it seemed to do it one season, then die a death. So I think with Maidstone going up through the leagues and that, and
what was your thoughts when Tom came to you and said, "Oh, by the way, we're going to be going 3G next year"? Are you a lover of 3G to start with, or are you like Keith, absolutely hate it, or are you like me that really loves it?
No, I like it. I like it. I think I thought it was the right decision, the perfect decision, because you can have so many more games on there. It helps stabilise the football club. It brings in an income. I don't. I'm not one of these. Yeah, traditionalists with playing on grass. Yeah, it's nice playing on grass, but 3G is definitely the way to go for stability for clubs, especially in the lower leagues. Not so much up in your Premiership and all that, where you got your groundsman's looking after your grass every day of the week and that, and it, it was a way forward. And yeah, I was really excited when Tom said about it, and I thought, yeah, will it happen? Won't it happen? And then all of a sudden, it all started coming to fruition. Yeah, a real benefit for the club, without a doubt. And it's I think it was the right decision. Yeah, and I like it. I do like it. I don't mind it. You're guaranteed the game. You never get games called off, apart from if it's really heavy snow, of course. But apart from that, you're always going to play. So I think there was one game, I can't remember who it was against, but it was looking dodgy. Yeah, we had a heavy downpour of rain beforehand.
I think it was, if I remember rightly, the one that I remember like that was Southend Manor in the FA Cup preliminary round, and I was out there and I was actually brushing the water off the pitch before the game.
Yeah,
because one of the pumps had broken, if I remember rightly. One of the pumps
that's
water
it.
away down at the golf club end.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That was the only time. But we got the game on with everyone's help, with getting rid of the water and that, and happy days. But yeah, you're always going to get games on with 3G, and I thought Tom and John Barnett obviously made the decision to go that route, and yeah, haven't looked back. I think it was a way forward. Definitely, I haven't got any problems with 3G. I know Keith has.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah. One of the things I asked Danny Chapman to see if he'd got any funny memories of you, and this was the answer I got back from Danny. Very short and sweet. He said,
I know what you're going to say.
If I'm honest, Dave, I don't remember Ray ever being funny. But one thing he was he was an absolutely lovely man. That's what I got back from him. I got a response from a response from Tom as well, but you can see that in a minute because I'll show it to you in a minute. And he's done a short video for you, so you'll see what he's got. You won't be surprised either. You won't be surprised about his funny thought about you, because it was something that we used to discuss regularly all the time. But you get to see it.
And I know exactly what it is, because I thought that's what you was going to say about Chapo. Yeah, absolutely shocking.
But I mean, was you? How can I put this? Was you surprised? 1 minute Tom's CEO, and then all of a sudden, news breaks, and you might have been partial to the information before everybody else. But Tim takes over as CEO, and now Tim's CEO, and Tom's chairman, and then all of a sudden, just after, I think just before I came back, and then Tom's then moved on just to be like as such owner of such, and now we've got Chris Ottaway in as chairman. And was you quite surprised that, knowing Tom like we do, that he's relinquished, the sort of the power a little bit to these two guys?
To be honest, no. If you'd have asked me this question 4 or 5 years ago, I'd say he'd never do that. Tom would never let go of anything like that. But with certainly, I don't know Chris, to be honest. I haven't really spoke to Chris. I don't know a lot about Chris Ottaway. Unfortunately, as much as I'd like to. I've spoken to him on Facebook and what have you, but I don't know a lot about him. But obviously, I know a lot more about Tim. And with what Tim's done at that club, I'm not surprised that Tom's taken a backward step, because what with Tim's knowledge in the banking industry and what beforehand and everything like that is knowledge up here with money and etc. like that. Tom knows it's in safe hands. He's got nothing to worry about. He's got people there that he can trust.
Yeah,
I think that's well, that's probably a fair view. I think with Tim and probably Chris as well, getting Chris in as well. So and I know Tom wanted to spend more time in Spain, and I think this is the way he's just moulded everything together, so he can now go away and not worry about what's happening at the club.
So do you see the future being bright? Do you see the future being, maybe more brighter now than maybe it was somebody might have thought 12 months ago?
Yeah, I do. But the reason I hesitate is this coronavirus, because I don't, what's going to happen next season? Is there going to be a next season? The future is bright. Obviously, with Chris coming in and everything like that. But I don't know what it holds. That's the problem. I don't know, because of the way the world is at the moment, and the way that Britain is in the minute when football is, and businesses all having trouble and what have you, with everything shut down. You don't know what's around the corner. So I don't know what the future holds. So yeah, I'm going to say the future is bright, but life after the coronavirus, I think we'll all have to wait and see what comes out of it and what happens, because it's going to be a very difficult time for everyone. Because if this, I know we're going off course a little bit, but if it comes to playing football behind closed doors, that ain't going to happen in grassroots. It can't happen. Football clubs won't exist if you're playing behind closed doors, because they rely on that income of Harlow did. They rely on people coming through the turnstiles and paying towards the budget. And
could you see though, Ray, with that sort of side of it, most clubs in the East Mid Leagues have got seated areas. Could you see it being a case of that what the league might do is turn around, or the FA may say is, right, you can only be in the seated areas, and then basically you have one seat and then 2 seats spare, 1 seat, 2 seats spare. You can't see anything like that coming into it to get it going.
Personally, I can't. I can't see how you can manage that. I really don't. We have enough trouble managing that on the buses, let alone on a football match. Wow, you should see our social distancing on buses at the moment. It's non-existent, mate. It's you wouldn't think there was a virus up here. People get on. You got Joe Bloggs sitting at the back, and someone will go and sit right next to him or just in front of him. And you're thinking, what are you doing? Yeah. You should be at least 2 seats away. We've got things on the wall, on the windows, but you can't manage it in that area. You're not going to manage it on the terraces. I can't see it. I really can't. But hopefully it won't come to that. So
this is one of the sort of final questions for you, mate. What's the future football-wise for Ray Dyer then? Is it going to be find a club up that end of the country, or are you going to try and get into Barrow so you can get into the second division?
No. No. Harlow through and through, mate. Always have been. Always will be, whether I'm living up here or right on the doorstep of the club. I wouldn't want to do it for anyone else. I know it was put on Facebook yesterday. My brother commented on there. I think he put on there, "Get ready for Barrow" or something like that, going into Barrow. But that's. It's not even a thought, not even come into my head, to be honest. I miss going to Harlow. I miss the football going over there. But I don't know. My son-in-law, David, he'll come up. He'll just go and watch any match anywhere. He's not bothered. He'll go to a football match. I've been up here. I can't. I don't know. It's not Harlow. I'm not that bothered, to be honest. Yeah. It doesn't. I went to Barrow a couple of times. I went, and a couple of seasons ago I went and met Danny Cowley at Barrow, and had a chat with Dan and his mum and dad and that over there, which was nice. But that was to meet them rather than watch the football. and I went over there to see him play Leyton Orient. That was last season. I think it might have been last season, and that was weird, in the pubs afterwards and talking to people that live in Harlow. It's really strange. But no, I'd only do it for Harlow, mate. I don't think I could. I could do if Barrow come knocking. Well, they're not going to come knocking. They don't even know who I am, so they're not going to be knocking on my door. But no, it's you think could be Football League if they get promoted. I don't know whether they will or they won't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, it's I'm happy with what I've done and my time, and if I ever move back down there, then I'll get involved again. But obviously, I've got no plans to come back down. I'm happy up here. You got the views. You got I always say you got the weather, but you haven't really. Although it's been nice today, but it was nice down there over the weekend. It pouring with rain up here, but that's another story. But when it's not known as the Lake District for nothing. But I'm not getting back into football. I'm quite happy with what I'm doing now, and taking up Crown Green bowling. That's the new thing on the agenda now. But yeah, I love my football. Love watching Harlow Town. But can't watch anyone else. I can't. Barrow at home every week. I've even thought about watching Millham, but I just think, what's the point? I wouldn't get into it. It's weird. It's weird.
I mean,
people might think I'm weird, but
no. I mean, when the new season starts and we start filming the games, I'll make sure you get to see them. So they might not be Sky Sports, but at least you'll get to see the.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's good.
They'll come through. But listen, Ray, it's been magic talking to you today, and I can honestly say that.
Likewise.
No disrespect, been involved in football ever since Stu asked me to come over and do the tannoy at Harlow. I've been involved in non-league football, and I can say this 100%. And I know when I told the girls and the missus I was going to be talking to you tonight, exactly the same answer from them as well. Without a shadow of a doubt, the nicest person in non-league football, full stop. And I miss you.
Cool.
I miss you so much, mate. We're going to go into Harlow and having a good laugh and a joke with you. So talking to you tonight it's made my evening. I'll be honest with you, mate. So thank you for that.
I've enjoyed it. It's nice to see you.
Before you go, a few other people wanted to tell you a few things, and there's 6 people here that wanted to speak to you. So sit back. It's only about 5 minutes, 6 minutes, but just sit back, and these people have got a few things that they want to speak to you about.
Wow. Okay.
Hi, just a quick message to congratulate Ray on his work with the club over the years. Obviously, I've known him for a long, long time. We started supporting the club many, many moons ago, and since he's been involved in an official capacity, it's a good job we haven't played Egham away. I'm sure he'll remember we played them in a League Cup replay, and he arrived just before half time, having drove around the area for over an hour trying to find the ground. The funny thing was we drew and had to have a second replay at Egham, and he done exactly the same thing again. So good job we haven't played them recently. Right, anyway, thank you, Ray. All the best, mate. Cheers.
Raymond, so you finally decided to have some you and family time with your mate. I think it's only fair after all you've put in over the years. Hope you're doing well, buddy. I've been asked to do a couple of stories about our years, 30 to 40 now, watching Harlow Town. Obviously, the funniest story that I'd like to say I daren't do on air. Dave won't be able to put it out there, but it involves a certain stag do. I'm sure you'll remember the implications when we came home and the certain operation that took place. So we'll leave that one for everyone just to reminisce on those that attended. Another great one that we had, do you remember the day we went to Wildstone and I had that guy that was after me for God knows how many years, and I still don't know why I upset him at a home game somehow, probably singing louder than he was. and yeah, he took umbrage and chased us out the ground at Wildstone. Do you remember us having to jump in the car and pull out onto the high road literally without stopping? Not quite sure how we got away with that one, but we're here to tell the tale. Buddy, you've done a fantastic job as secretary. You know, no one will ever thought the commitment that you've put into the club has just been top draw. Me personally, soon to see you on the terraces and up in an office, soon to see you in your scruffs and your shirt and tie. And as they said on the forum yesterday, is that there isn't many secretaries that got a song written after them, but you more than deserve it. Bud, hope you're doing well up there. Don't let too many people on them buses unless you use the one that I put the picture up for yesterday. You've got plenty of room on that one. Keep yourself safe. Look after yourself. Look forward to catching up soon. Macca wants to get all the lads together at a game next season. Sounds like a cracking idea to me. It's been too long. Well done on all your hard work, mate. Take care of yourself. Love to you and your family. Longy.
Hi Ray, can't believe you've gone and left me after all these years. It's great working with you, and enjoy your retirement, and you're always at the end of the phone, yeah? Bye.
Mr. Dyer, the end of an era. Sat here recording this brief message in the baking evening sun. It's almost as warm as the day we, as a group of supporters, ventured down to Maidstone to play the likes of Effin Okoku. We were supporters, they were ex-pros and virtually only just retired players on a stupidly hot day. But what great fun that was. From a football side of things, you've always been so welcoming and a font of all knowledge and a true ambassador for Harlow Town Football Club. And my goodness, you've had some years of practice there. You've been missed for the past few seasons in presence, but I know behind the scenes you've always continued to work your magic. I'm pretty certain it's drizzly up north today, and your bus route has probably had windscreen wipers going all day. But keep doing what you do, Ray. Keep being a supporter of the club in which way you can. I've asked Donna that as one of her first tasks she forwards you a copy of the new season's handbook whenever that comes around, and also keeps you abreast of any league rule changes, because I'd hate for you to be losing sleep and not being able to get to sleep by reading those as your bedtime stories. Mate, all the best, stay safe, stay in touch, and we'll see you soon. Take care, mate. Bye.
Hi Ray, Chris Ottaway. Good luck on your retirement. I reckon after 30 years in your role, you probably earns it. Be safe. See you soon.
Raymondo, stories. There's been many, but probably the one that sticks in my head more than anything else was the Man of the Match award after a game. When asked, Ray always was spot on with who he thought should be man of the match, but unfortunately absolutely clueless, completely clueless, never got it right once. Love you, Ray.
Hi, just a quick message to
And yet the funny thing was, Ray, we always used to agree, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We
Yeah,
always agreed. We always agreed, but you always took the stick because you went in and told them.
Yeah. I always stuck my neck out. I reckon you stitched me up.
That's like you always used to go. You always used to go in there and tell them who it was. Yeah.
To this day, it's going to be a supporter thing to a manager-owner thing, and someone that I don't know probably knows the game more than what I do. But from a supporter, the man of the match for me was always my man of the match, and that was it. He's done what I thought, and that's my vote.
I remember us talking about it. We'd have a conversation always on a Saturday night. We'd have a conversation about the game or whatever else, and then you turn around to me and go, "Oh, Tom and Danny said it just done me like a kipper, like, you know." And then they'd come out with this name, and you come out with this name and say, "Oh, Tom and Danny have said it was this person," and I used to go, "What?" Really?
Really? Yeah.
Where did that one come from?
Yeah, I know. It's just, it was astounding. I'll always take that memory away with Chapo and Tom, because I used to get caned, absolutely caned. I shouldn't open my mouth. That's what I kept thinking. I thought, why do I open my mouth every time? I thought, well, it's only because I thought one day I'd get it right, but it never happened.
Yeah. Listen, mate, I'm taking up your valuable time. I really do appreciate you coming on tonight. And it's like, don't be a stranger. Hopefully, we'll start getting up our calls again, even if it's once a month, just to keep in touch. And but it's been great speaking to you again tonight, mate. And it's brought back a lot of memories, and it's been fantastic to talk to you again.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought there's more that I could say, to be honest. More games as I'm sitting here just thinking like Wimbledon away and things like that, and train journeys that maybe that's for another day, maybe.
Well, we'll do a my Harlow My Life Part 2.
Yeah, why not? Why not? But no, it's been great to talk to you, mate. Love to the wife and the kids, and keep safe down there.
Yeah.